What's up guys, Partywaffles here with another video for you guys. Today, I just have a quick video on my add-ons and my interface. It's just going to be a quick, to the point, just to get everything across, all the information to you guys. Nothing crazy, no crazy editing or anything like that. Okay, so first we're going to talk about my user interface. We'll talk about the add-ons after, but first we'll cover the default things. So the first thing you're going to see is that my frames, the default frames, are up in the top left. I have mine shifted slightly down just because the main place that I'm looking in Arena is this area right here. This area right here, okay? So it's a little bit easier for me to than having to look up in the top left just to see like cast and that kind of thing. And the focus the focus target, it's really close to my center, so I can see what the focus target's doing, because you really want to be able to track what your focus target's doing in case you have to kick something like a greater pyro or something like that. So that's why my frames are there. The next thing on the UI is I just use the default action bars. Pretty simple, it's pretty straightforward. Another thing is the party frames. So I have party frames set up as raid party frames. So they'll just be the 3 raid party frames there. So for me, it's easier to see my HP and my partner's HP and stuff like this when I just have a big frame for them. So the way you do that would be you just go into raid profiles and you just click use raid style party frames. And if you want them to be like mine, these are the settings I use right here. And you can just unlock it and move it wherever you want it. But I keep mine right there. Another thing that's beneficial about that though is because they have a thing right here. Where is it? Show debuffs. Okay. So this, if you enable show debuffs, it will show on their frame. Like if your partner's in CC, if they have something to dispel, it'll show it on their frame, so you know exactly when your partner is CC'd. So that's a really good thing, and it doesn't take an add-on for that. Let's see, is there anything else here with the default UI? I think that's it for the default UI. So that's just my default UI. I try to use it as simple as possible. Alright, the next thing we're gonna go over here is my add-ons, okay? So let's take a look at the add-ons. First I'll go through them and then I'll tell you everything that they do. So details it's not a PvP add-on, so don't worry about the details. You guys probably already know what that is anyway, so I won't turn it off. But the first one here is called BigDebuffs. So what it does, BigDebuffs, what it does is this. Okay. There's a couple different things you can do with it, but the way I use it, see, okay, so I just tested it for you guys, okay? So what it does is it puts on the party frame, it shows what they're doing, like if they have a buff active, if they have a defensive active, something like that. So it'll show on their frame what's going on. So that's basically what BigDebuffs does. Just so that you can see easier, like see cooldowns easier and not miss them when they're happening. So that's the first one that I use, okay? BigDebuffs. The second one that I use is called Doom Cooldown Pulse, okay? See if I can test this one for you guys here. This is not like Doom Cooldown Pulse is not super, it's not like a necessity or anything. Let's see if I can, what I can use it with. So the Doom Cooldown Pulse, all it does is, just trying to see if there's a way to test it for you guys. It doesn't look like there is, but if you ever watch me play or you watch me stream or anything, all the Doom Cooldown Pulse does is when your cooldown is coming off, like when it's back up off cooldown, it'll just like make a big transparent, wherever you want to put it on the screen, like it'll show the big AMS symbol, like a big square transparent, and then it'll disappear, and then you'll know that it's up. So I'll show you that when it comes back up in 30 seconds, but that's a pretty, that one's not a very big deal. You could probably get by without that one fairly easily, I would say. Let's take a look at the next one though. So far the most important one you've seen though is BigDebuff, alright? Now the next one is GladiatorlosSA. So this one is this is a pretty big one for a lot of people. What this one does is you can set it to any ability in the game, okay? So whenever they're casting it, whenever like an ability falls off, there's a lot of different things you can do with it, but it's basically a voice that will tell you like Dark Soul used, or like, oh, they're casting a cyclone, or oh, the enemy's drinking, or whatever you want to set it to, it will tell you. So I'll show you the settings for it, and I'll show you my settings in particular. So if you want to set it up like I have it set up, you can just pause the video on my settings, and then you can put it. But this is how I set it up, because you can have it anywhere, but it will spam you with a lot of stuff if you don't have it set properly. So these are the settings for the first page for me. And then these are my settings for the abilities that I have it on. So I'll just keep scrolling down slowly, and you can stop wherever you need the abilities from. I mostly just have it set up for like big offensive cooldowns and big defensive cooldowns that I don't want to miss, right? Like I'll give you an example here, like these are not that important. Transfusion's not important. Like here, like Iron Bark and Bark Skin. So if you don't notice it, well, the big debuffs will help you notice it too, but you don't really want to hit into two defensives. So if you see that he used both those, you can just hit something else. Or Thorns, right? It'll say Thorns, and then you know, oh shit, he used Thorns. I don't want to keep attacking into that. I'll kill myself. But yeah, here's my settings. So just keep looking at the settings.
Fortifying brew.
See that? That's what it sounds like.
Double barrel.
So it'll just tell you whatever you want to hear.
PS.
So it's really, really good for your awareness. And that's everything. And then we have also the spell casting.
Big heal.
So
Cyclone.
if you don't want to miss a CC, right?
Crane thong.
Boom.
Repentance.
I need to turn off Turn Evil. Yeah. But yeah, there's my settings for that, okay? And special ability. The final tab is special abilities. These things often change though, like it depends which cooldowns are the scary ones, right? So, wait, I'll give you all my settings. So there you go. That's a big goal. That's a really useful add-on, I would have to say. Very useful. Alright, and let's go ahead and take a look at the next one on the list here. So the next one that I use here is Gladius. You might know what Gladius is, you might not. But you probably do. If you do any arena, you probably do. So I'll just give you guys a quick run of what it is. So Gladius is just basically new arena frames, okay, for the enemies. Arena 1, 2, 3. There's no 4, 5 because there's no 5s. But so you have your arena 1, 2, 3 here, all right? Right on the right side of their name, you have their trinket, their PvP trinkets, okay? So you can watch those. You have a cast bar below them, which I'd never watch ever because I watch it on my frames, but you have a cast bar, trinket, and then on the left side, you're going to have your DRs, okay? Diminishing returns, all right? So if you use your asphyxiate on somebody, it's going to show the asphyxiate icon beside them, showing that, hey, and it's going to have a countdown, showing that, hey, this person is on DR. So if you stun the person again that has the stun symbol beside them, it's not going to stun them for the full duration. So that's a really good way to track DRs and not stun into something that's already DR'd, or fear into something that's DR'd, or anything like that. Because you really don't want to DR stun or DR fear things. Like it's DR CC at all. It's not good. 9 out of 10 times it's not good unless you know what you're doing. So that's a really useful add-on. Really useful add-on to track everything for your arena. Definitely that's like a necessity. You could trade that out with S Arena, but I've just been using Gladius for my whole life, so I'm used to it at this point. Okay, so we'll go ahead and hide that again. And let's see, we're getting down. This is nothing, you don't have to worry about that one. OmniBar. Okay, this is another really big one. So tracking your enemy's cooldowns is very important, because then if you know what cooldowns that the enemy has up, then you know what to expect that they're going to do, or you can outplay them, right? You can, like, if you know they have a kidney, you can pre-AMS the kidney, or you can just be ready for it, you know? You can't be ready for something if you don't know they have it. So what OmniBar does is this. You can set it to whatever spells you want, okay? So if if their ability is on cooldown, it will be right here. Okay, so like, if you don't see the ability here, that whatever abilities you've chosen to be on the bar, if you don't see the ability here, it means that it's off cooldown and they can use it. So I like to have like fear on priest and a bunch of things on this. So like, if I see the fear on the priest and I know that he's about to have it up, he's obviously going to start pushing for a fear if he's about to have the fear up, right? So then I know that, and I can stop him from fearing off the other CC or whatever CC he's used. So that's very good to track things. If you're a healer, you can put all the kicks on there so you can juke kicks with it. Yeah, it's a really, really important CD. Or, sorry, not CD. Really important add-on as well. And finally, another Omni one. It's called OmniCD. So this one, you might have seen me when I'm playing Arena, or you might have seen on my stream or something. But when I'm in an arena, or even in my videos, when I'm in an arena, right beside this frame right here, so right beside it on the left side, it'll show all the cooldowns that I have. And my partner too. So like, I'll see that like my partner's a mystery, right? So beside him, it'll show like his bubble, his stun, whatever I set it up as, so that I know when he has his cooldowns, okay? So I don't have to be like, oh, do you have your sweep? Like, when I'm playing Windwalker DK, I don't have to be like, oh, okay, you have your stun yet? Like, I can just look and know, yeah, he has his stun. So it clears the comms a little bit for you guys if you don't have to say every little thing like that. And it's definitely beneficial. I just started using it actually at the end of the season last season. But it's pretty beneficial, I'd say. But yeah, that's all the add-ons that I use, guys. So I try to keep it as lightweight as possible. I don't have any bartender, but honestly, the biggest add-on I probably use is GladiatorlosSA. A lot of people don't like it, but personally, I like it because my vision. I'm supposed to wear glasses, but I don't wear them, so it's easier for me to just hear the things than see them half the time, especially like a little tiny buff or something. But yeah, that's it. So if you guys like that, feel free to give it a like, follow, or not follow, we're on YouTube. I like, subscribe, comment. But yeah, you can catch me on Twitch too, twitch.tv.partywafflesx, or Twitter and Instagram. Same handle, partywafflesx. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a good one. I hope this helps you guys out, at least a little bit.